FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
The Free Barbie piece is the story of a Chinese girl who works in a factory making Barbie's head. And I've been obsessed with Barbie my whole life because I just can't believe there's such a thing as Barbie. And that there's 1 billion Barbies in the world and that one Barbie is made every 3 seconds. I mean, isn't that amazing? Like, a Barbie was just made. A Barbie was just made. A Barbie, I mean, that's just incredible. One day I just sat in a chair doing that all day. A Barbie was just made. It's, wow. And then we wonder why we all hate our bodies. God, wonder. The
sexless bump between the legs of a Barbie.
Yes, exactly. She has no genitals, and she has a body that somebody once told me that if it were actual body, she would not be able to stand because the proportions are so out of whack. And it was really interesting in this group in New York. We had all the girls tell their Barbie stories, and it was fantastic. One girl said, who was gay, she was like, oh, I used to cut off her head, and I would put Barbie's head on Ken, and it was fabulous, and it all worked out nicely. And then another girl was talking who was African-American. She was saying they say that, you know, black Barbie is black Barbie, but she's really white Barbie because she has a white nose on black Barbie. And it was totally confusing because they were telling you it was black, but you knew she wasn't black. And everybody just kind of went around and told these incredible stories. They're actually going to be on the internet because I made them write them down. But it was like, if you want to understand your life, tell the story of your Barbie, you know, and what you did to your Barbie or didn't do, you know. But I don't remember what the question was, but...
What was your Barbie story?
I used to hurt my Barbie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I would cut off her head and do mean things to her, and, you know...
A friend of mine figured out she was queer when she was young, and she put one Barbie on top of another, and she had her first orgasm at the sight of it.
Those were the kind of stories that were emerging.
And now whenever I'm in Toys R Us or something, I'm just like... Yeah. I always want to call my friend, I guess, what I'm doing. Yeah.
See, that gives a whole new spin to Barbie, you know? Yeah. But anyway, the piece, Free Barbie...
Yes.
Was I was reading a lot of things about the factories and the conditions of workers who were making Barbies, and the conditions were horrific. So I just created this character, this girl who I love, and who was making Barbie's head in this factory, and she started to send, she did something called head send, where she would send her thoughts into Barbie's head, you know, and she'd be like, head send, and she would send them into Barbie's head, and then she believed that that head, like her head would, because she made a lot of heads, that her thoughts would go to girls all around the world, because she really knew what Barbie was thinking and no one else did. And at the end of it, she just does this whole thing. Imagine if we freed all the Barbies, you know, and they went from makeover to takeover. Imagine if we freed Barbie, free Barbie. And I just love this idea of just a free Barbie movement because it's such a metaphor for everything. If you look at the fact that we are having essentially child laborers making Barbies in Taiwan and Japan and China who are starving to make Barbie and then export Barbie to the West, where girls starve themselves to be like Barbie, you kind of understand the story of the world right now, right? I mean, there's the story. So I think we need to really look at Barbie as a metaphoric movement, that we could begin to look at all the issues, you know, entailed in that journey, you know.